I was set to marry Emma in 6 weeks. We'd spent a year crafting every detail. The venue, the vows, the playlist for our first dance. Everyone said we were the kind of couple that made love look easy. I believed them. Maybe that's why the truth didn't warn me. It wrecked me. The night before her bachelorette party, she kissed me on the doorstep and whispered, "Don't wait up, okay?" That same soft smile, calm and familiar. The one that always said, "I'm yours." I told her to have fun. Even offered to cover the Uber for her and her friends. That's how blindly in love I was. Around midnight, I got a text from her bridesmaid, Lauren. It only said, "You need to see this." Attached was a shaky video. Dim lights, loud music, and Emma, my fiancé, sitting on another man's lap. His hands weren't where they should have been. Neither were hers. My brain refused to accept it. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe she was drunk. Maybe it wasn't even her. Then I heard that laugh. The one I'd memorized over 4 years. Head tilted, eyes half closed. There was no mistaking it.
I didn't sleep that night.
I just sat there in the dark, the video looping again and again. Each replay cracked something I thought couldn't break. By morning, I'd already decided. I wouldn't yell. I'd let the truth speak for itself. She came home around 9. Sunglasses on, hair messy, voice casual.
"Morning, babe," she said.
I looked at her and said, "We need to talk." Her smile wavered. "What's going on?" I handed her my phone. "Lauren sent me this." For a moment, silence. Then, that nervous laugh people use when they're cornered. "It's not what it looks like," she said. "Then tell me what it is," I replied quietly. She stammered. "We were joking around."
A dare.
Everyone was drunk. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just nodded. "So that's your story?" Her expression shifted, fear creeping in. "You don't believe me?" "I believed everything you told me," I said, "until last night."
She reached for me.
I stepped back. "Emma, I'm not angry. I'm done."
Done?
"You mean the wedding's off? You can tell your friends. I'll tell my family." That's when the real tears came. She dropped to her knees, begging. "It was one stupid mistake. Don't throw it all away." But betrayal doesn't happen in one night. It builds. In every small lie, every glance you pretend not to notice. The video was just the proof of what my gut already knew. I walked past her into the bedroom. Her engagement dress hung on the door. I took it down, folded it neatly, and set it on the bed. Then I packed a small bag. "Where are you going?" she cried. "To clear my head," I said. "And to learn how to unlove you." Her tears turned sharp. "You're really walking out? After everything?" I paused at the door. "No, Emma. You did." Outside, the air was cold and clean. Cleaner than anything left inside that apartment. I drove until the city disappeared. Until my phone stopped buzzing. I didn't answer. Didn't read her messages. For the first time in months, I felt calm, like I'd stopped fighting a battle I didn't know I was losing. But peace never lasts. The next morning at my brother's place, a text came from an unknown number. "You don't know the whole story. Check your email." The subject line of that email would turn everything upside down. It came from a nameless address, random letters, no sender. Against my better judgment, I opened it. One photo, one message. "You think she betrayed you." But she wasn't the only one being watched. The picture showed Emma, same party, same dress. But this time, she wasn't laughing. She looked terrified. The man who'd touched her was leaning in, whispering. And she was pulling away. The caption read, "Ask Lauren why she really sent that video." My pulse raced. Everything I thought I knew twisted. Could the clip have been edited? Was I wrong? I wanted to ignore it, to pretend it didn't matter anymore. But it did. Because if there was more to the story, I had to know. Before I buried what we had forever. So, I drove back to the city and texted Lauren. No reply. So, I showed up at her place unannounced. She looked startled, eyes wide, seeing me at her door, phone in hand. "Who sent you that?" she asked before I could speak. "That's what I'm here to find out," I said. Because it feels like you left something out. Her eyes flicked away. You shouldn't have opened that email. Then tell me the truth, Lauren. Was that video real? Or did you just want me to see what you wanted me to see? She hesitated, then sighed. It was real, but not the way you think. Emma was drunk, she continued softly. Yeah, but she didn't sleep with anyone. That guy, he was a friend of her ex. He showed up uninvited. Things got tense. We tried to pull her away. I filmed it because I was scared she'd be blamed for something she didn't do. Then why send it to me? I asked. Because you needed to see what she's turning into, she whispered. Not that she cheated, but that she's unraveling. She's been stressed, drinking, crying about the wedding about you. Her words hit like a weight in my chest. Anger, pity, confusion. It all tangled inside me. I didn't know whether to thank her or yell. When I left Lauren's apartment, I drove aimlessly until I found myself outside Emma's place again. Her car was gone, but the lights were still on. Against my better judgment, I went inside. The apartment looked like a storm had passed through. Half-packed boxes, empty wine bottles, silence thick in the air. On the table was a folded note with my name on it. Lucas, I know I broke something I can't fix. You were right. It wasn't just one night, it was me pretending to be fine when I wasn't. I didn't cheat on you. Not physically. But I did betray what we had. I let pressure, fear, and expectations turn me into someone even I couldn't recognize. I'm leaving town for a while. Please don't hate me. I need to find the version of me that deserved you. I sat there rereading it, each line heavier than the last. It felt like an apology that had arrived too late. Relief and heartbreak collided inside me. The truth, I realized, was messier than betrayal. She hadn't destroyed us with another man. She'd done it slowly, with silence and exhaustion. And maybe I'd helped, too busy protecting the image of us to see she was sinking. The next morning, I called the venue and canceled the booking. The florist, the DJ, the photographer. One by one, I untangled every plan we'd made. It felt mechanical, almost cleansing. Each cancellation was another step away from a life that no longer fit. A week later, I drove to the beach where I'd proposed. Same horizon, same salt in the air, but the weight was gone. I stood there watching the waves break, thinking how easy it is to confuse love with habit, promises with permanence. Sometimes people don't cheat with bodies. They cheat with time, with attention, with the quiet withdrawal of warmth. And by the time you notice, it's already over. I deleted the video first, then the photo, the email, and finally, her number. Not out of anger, but because I didn't want ghosts for company anymore. As I turned to leave, my phone buzzed. A text from Emma. I hope one day you'll remember the good parts more than the ending. For the first time since that night, I smiled. Not because I forgave her, but because I finally understood. Some stories don't end with closure. They end with clarity. And that morning, as the sun rose over the water, I realized I wasn't the man she lost. I was the man she helped me find again.